up so we can have the window that views it too. Go watch it.
Can you edit it once it goes live? We have like, we better watch the part. We'll make it past the first minute.
I mean, what's she repurposing for?
Ma.
Go watch your show. Are you not gonna watch it? Where you going, man?
Yeah, I think I come up here and speak right there.
Stick her in. She just gonna come back.
Yeah, so what's big on your mind today?
What's big on my mind? What do you mean by that?
Like, okay, big on my mind is I know I need to prepare the email sequences for next week, for Black Friday through Cyber Monday, Giving Tuesday. I do that for us, I gotta do that for Eli, or at least get the product loaded into GoDaddy. Like, how can I, that's another project I gotta
Build your way.
his site back, right? Get your Build Your Way fundraiser finished. So,
Yeah, our email sequence for this week on and next week. Plans of attack, which products we want to push the hardest on. Yeah, get that rolling. Yeah, I think that's a good start.
right. So, do something we can do together when we're sitting here, like do the Build Your Way player packs, or
You would expect that.
talk to them.
If you'd like.
Yeah, hey guys, right? I mean, I know you're here. We're doing this so that we can get more comfortable in front of the camera and understanding what you guys like to see from us. Today, what I'm trying to get you guys along with me is we are going to be doing some admin work on our site. So we've got some private clients that we create sportswear for. So jerseys, off-court sportswear, warm-ups, tees, compression shirts, weighted balls. And as we approach the holiday season, there's a team that wants to do it as a fundraiser. So open up some additional apparel and merchandise opportunities to the parents, to the coaches, extended family, fans. So what we need to do is create these different player packs that will be required purchases for the players, but then also create a more robust catalog of pieces. So parents, grandparents, coaches can purchase as well. And then create the collateral. So what are the actual call to actions that the coach can send out via email, via text message, and maybe even a printable flyer. So the first part is already done. We have built out the catalog. It's a 14-piece catalog, but there's some additional items that Brandon was designing, compression shirts, to be added in here. So
I sent you those images.
I did get those 10 with the socks. So the measures are in there. So
Just restarted. so it's like, is this gonna turn it on?
Maybe.
Or,
I don't think they can hear you talk because that's what you want to talk about. We're talking
I don't know, I just think I found my voice for the interview. It's working out, but I was talking to you about that. Started talking to them about that. I don't know.
Right, I mean, I
I
guess
guess
if
it's
they're.
loud enough to hear what I'm saying.
Yes. Alright, so like for example, the socks, we had done a new graphic for those.
Yeah, I didn't do graphic for those. So basically, have them both match as opposed to them mismatching.
Do they mismatch?
Right here, they mismatch. This is a build your way sock, and this is a 3-star sock. But
Okay.
they didn't necessarily match. This is like 3 stars on the back, and it was like, oh, make them mismatch, and that'd be cool. But it's like, no, get both pairs of socks, and then you can mismatch if you want to. But like for uniformity, like match
Okay.
the socks.
I didn't even pick up on that. I just assumed the builder was on the other side on that.
And we could leave it like that too.
But.
It's just like different views of it. Alright. Right, so while we work on that, this is like, right, like, how do we do it? It's like I want to be like, let's talk about a thing. But this is like, that just feels so inauthentic. So like, having like, approach conversations as to how to do online, what would you call it?
How to do this communication,
presence.
right? Like we wanna get in front of you guys more. We feel like we have a lot of ideas. There's tons of concepts and opportunities and just real world obstacles that we deal with on a daily basis. And we do feel like we've been called to share, right? I mean, that's hard because we don't like to share. So, maybe we have been called to share, but that's a difficult thing for us to do. And maybe it is for you guys too. I don't know if there's other 80s babies out there, but like we were raised to not be so braggadocious, right? To not put your business out there like that. It was kind of let your work speak for itself, like you don't speak. And now obviously that's a very different mindset than what is, what causes success, right, today. And so we're trying to find that happy medium, right, where we don't want to overshare and bring you guys in on things that don't matter. But at the same time, we feel like we're keeping a lot of these ideas to ourselves, and some of the projects that we want to do will be, what is that, like, you guys need to know who we are, right? Like, we need to have a bond and a communication there.
Mooney.
Right, you guys were parents too. Like, this is real. It's time to get things done for sure.
I'll check back in with you guys at that
What happened?
Right, gotta work on that. Like how to address the camera. Not Moon. Like Moon's gonna be Moon. She's gonna be a baby. It's just like, right, as a baby, I need you to listen and say, shh. Mommy, Daddy gotta work. And you're still sleeping. We're gonna keep talking and keep talking and working and keep it on.
You gonna take a nap, Mama? Nap time.
Do it
It got late fast. It's already 11 minutes.
Yeah.
She's a cute.
So yeah, keep talking.
All right, guys. No, say bye, Mooney. It's nap time, right? So I don't know about you guys, that COVID for us was a chance to obviously learn how to all work together at home, but it was also a time where we added a new baby to our life, and this is number 2. So our COVID baby is now 5 years old, and she's at her classes. I homeschool her. She's in a TK program, so I've got some great curriculum. I got a great support system through the homeschool charter that we're a part of. If you guys have questions about homeschool charters, hit me up. I'm happy to share that. That's definitely the new part of my life. Let me see. Now I'm doing too much. I want you guys to be able to see my screen as well, so I'll fix that for next time. Let's see here. So this first product, right, I'm looking at these team socks, and so at first my husband Brandon, who's on camera here, he designs everything for us. So he did one that was like a mismatched pair, which is pretty cool, but I didn't pick up on it. So now he's designed 2 more, and I'm trying to think, like, Do we want to offer 3 different styles? Maybe. Let me get rid of these other things here. I don't know. You guys, what do you guys think? Do you feel like more choice or less choice? I can tell you from experience on the sales side that it can lead to like choice paralysis. When you give your customers and clients too many options, they can start to feel a little bit overwhelmed and not want to make the wrong choice, and that can sometimes lead them into not making any choice. That's especially important and something to consider when you're doing online sales. In person, I can help you talk through that choice, right? I can help you weigh your options. We can try things on, we can look at them. Online, you're really left to make some of those decisions yourself. And so I tend to believe that fewer options and choices are better when it comes to it. My husband and I, we see this a little bit differently. He doesn't like to miss a sale, and so sometimes he feels like we need to offer a wider variety of things so that everyone can find something that they like. There's 2 ways of looking at it. One is not right, one's not wrong. It really just depends on the structure of your business and how many SKUs you can handle. What we can do and what's unique about Persevere is that we own our entire manufacturing process. And so while that can lead to its own set of headaches, it has quite a few benefits. And with that, we do have the option to show quite a few different designs, but then only make the ones that people purchase. Now, a funny story with that, when we went to our very first trade show, I think it was our first one, our very first trade show in Las Vegas at Magic, the big one where all the fashion brands are, all the buyers are, and granted this was maybe 13 years ago, so things have changed a little bit, but back then, you wanted to have physical samples. People would come through, and every vendor or every clothing designer brand would have its own little booth space, and you could set up that space however you see fit. Most people had a table, had a couple racks or shelves. They would have their products on display, and then you'd have an order form where wholesale clients could come in and pre-book, right? Pre-plan, say, hey, I think I'm going to want 25 pairs of these shoes. And then we'd write the order, they would sign and commit, but there's not usually any money exchanged at that point, right? You have to follow up, and then it goes into the shipping process. And so that's where I came up with this brilliant idea. Well, let's just do a sample of everything, right? And we were trying to mesh and collaborate, come to a compromise where Brandon had all of these wonderful design ideas. And so we couldn't decide, right? We didn't want to pick what people would want. We wanted them to see everything, and then they tell us what they liked the best. And so we ended up doing, it was one of our first footwear releases, and it was the luxury work boot, I'm sorry. And if some of you guys are listening and you remember back then, we ended up dropping the work boot in, it started in black, and then it went to red, and then it kept going, right? And this is why. So when we went to Magic for that trade show, we set up our booth, we made our product catalogs, and we showed the shoe in so many different colors, right? We did so many samples, just one pair in each color. It was blue, there was yellow, there was pink, there was a burgundy, there was brown, there was a mustard yellow, there was black, of course, there was white, there were low tops, there were high tops, all different kinds. And you guess what happened, right? Buyers wrote orders for every single one of those colors, right? Black won by far, but every color had like a pre-book order placed. And so that's what can happen when you offer so many, right? Maybe there is someone that likes each thing, but you have to keep in mind your break-even points, your minimum order quantities, how much is it going to cost to ship these. If someone just wants 10, is that enough to create a whole new mold for a shoe or to dye a whole new batch of leather? And those are the things you have to think about, right? And so we got ourselves in a bit of a pickle with that. But let's go back to these socks. So now what we have is I think I'm going to settle on offering 3 different styles. I do know in the back of my mind that I have some break-even points for these, that I have some minimum order quantities that have to be done. And so I think I'm just going to add a blurb that lets the customers know, because this isn't just general public, that this is a team and family and friends for their fundraiser. that I can be a little bit more personal than I would be on like our full website. So I can say here, minimum order quantities must be met. Maybe I'll even ask AI to help me rewrite this. Must be met. Minimum order quantities must be met in order to, what do I want to say? Minimum order quantities of 10 pairs per design must be met. Or, I don't know, let's just ask AI, right? Chat. You guys use AI in your everyday? I think this is what it has to be, right? Is that we can't be embarrassed of it. Don't try to use it as your dirty little secret. I am of the mindset, like, be upfront and honest about what we're using. It's a tool that you should be using that's at your disposal, and it can make you more efficient. So think bigger. Go for the bigger projects. Now that you have this built-in assistant that can do some of that extra workload for you, push yourself even further, right? And I'm talking to myself for sure. All right, so let's see. What can I help with? I'm releasing a new product, and I want to show 3 versions, but a minimum order quantity of 10 pairs per design must be met for us to manufacture them. How should I explain that on the site? How should I explain that on the website or product page? On the product page, let's do that. Let's see what they say. I spelled explain that. Some of these keys are sticky. It's the thing for kids, you never know what's going to be on here. All right, it says, here's 3 polished options you can use on your product page. Let's see here. That are designed to encourage customers to meet the minimum order quantity without feeling restricted. You can mix and match the language. Let's see here. To begin production, each design requires a minimum order of 10 pairs. You can mix sizes within each design, but the total per design must meet the minimum. This ensures we can maintain our premium quality and custom production standards. We offer 3 unique versions of this product. To produce them at our highest standard, each design requires a minimum order quantity of 10 pairs. Feel free to select any combination of sizes. We just need 10 pairs. We just need 10 pairs per design. Okay. Each version of this product is made using our small batch high quality production process. To activate manufacturing for any design, we require a minimum of 10 pairs for that specific version. Okay. I like it. Let's do it. Let's try it in the Persevere brand voice. The item is Build Your Way Elite Team Socks. And then let's add a line stating what happens if they don't make the minimum. What happens if the minimum is not met? Like, basically, we will contact them and offer the alternative design that did meet minimums. MOQ. That's not what MOQ stands for. If you ever see that, MOQ, what are we talking about right now? Minimum order quantity, right? So when you see that jargon on invoices or when you're dealing with different production people, MOQ, minimum order quantity. Right, and that's usually how many do you have to order in order for them, right, the manufacturers, to feel like it's beneficial for them to produce it. Why wouldn't they want to produce just one? like think about, you know, an assembly line or a work order process where you're building something, right? And some of those things take raw goods. It's the same thing when you're doing your recipe, right? And if you happen to have all the spices at home already, then yeah, super money saving this recipe could be. But if you have to go and you have to buy all new, right? You got to get the turmeric and you got to get the garlic salt and you got to get the pink Himalayan sea salt and you got to get baking powder and you got to get baking soda and you got to end up buying all of these things sort of in bulk, even though I'm only going to use a half a teaspoon or I'm only going to use, right, 1 cup of it. I have to buy them in big quantities, which makes that initial order, right? If I just wanted to make that recipe one time, now all of a sudden it went from being a $10 per plate meal to a $25 per plate meal because I had to invest so much money in those raw goods, right? The raw costs of the ingredients to make my recipe. It's the same thing for clothing production. You might only want 1 jacket, but the way that I have to buy my leather, the way that I have to invest in my thread, in my needles, and to purchase the time that it takes to make that, to cut the pattern, to grade the sizes, it'd be more cost efficient if I were going to do 10 at a time, right? Then it makes sense. Otherwise, what would have cost you, you know, maybe $300 could end up costing you $700, $800. And that is why samples usually cost so much more than your finished goods, right? When you're doing a quantity. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys, right? Okay, so our MOQ, let's see what they came back with instead, I should say. Available, each style is built with the same persevere, that's good. Okay, perfect. All right, I think I am going to take some of this. To keep production quality high for every team we serve. Let's see here. All right. Maybe I'll just put this on the collection page and it'll apply to like every item. That makes sense. So let's, okay, I've got that copied and pasted. So what I'm going to do here is add another option so I can do all 3. Let's see, we're going to call it Build Your Way Elite Script Logo Socks. Oh, and then in black and white? Okay, that's fine. And then we have another one that's like 3 stars. And another one. No, I thought we just did option name is style. 3-star logo. And mismatch. Mismatch or mismatch? Mismatch. Mismatch. Okay, and the color's there. That should be done. Pick your color, pick your style, pick your size, pick your color, pick your style. Pick your size, pick your color, pick your style. That's good. I wonder if I add large, it can be like 12 and over. A medium might be a small, we'll say is like a 5 to 8. Let's do this as a 9 to 11, 9 to 11, 5, 6, 7. Okay. That's good, that's good. I'm done here. Save this. We're going to go to the collection page now. Add that blurb about our MOQ to the collection page. Here we go. This is the official home. That's right. Boom. I don't think that this needs to be. right? If something cost 15, use 20% of each purchase goods regular to the team to offset turnover fees and create new development opportunities. Right, we've done fundraisers where it's popcorn, it's poinsettias, it's cookies, it's, is that all the ones that we've done? Yeah. Wreaths, I do like the wreaths, you know. But I'm hoping that with this, with us doing team apparel, it serves function, you can get your grandparents involved, you know, we can customize them. Here we go. Each design requires a minimum order of 10 pieces. Sizes can be mixed, just hit the count for specific. You have to select it if your selected design doesn't meet the 10 piece. Minimum or 2 orders out off. Please help your designer dig within no queue. Ensuring your order stays on schedule and your team stays looking right, as always. Let's go back to our socks. Save this, go back to our socks, and we're gonna add our compression tee. And I think we have to switch the shorts. So we did these first. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Let's add some pictures here. I want to see group by. That's fine. Okay. Black, 3-star. So I want to add the pictures to each product. So then as people are clicking on their sizes and their options, the images will change. It's not it's not mandatory, but I do think it is helpful when shopping. And I mean, I'm a busy mom, so definitely I appreciate any type of time-saving thing. So that is cognizant to me. I want to add a image. I'm going to add black 3-star socks to these. There we go. And now let's do the black logo socks. Let's see here, black logo socks. What platforms do you guys use? I have been working off Shopify for the vast majority of my career. We have also used BigCommerce. I've used Wix. I just keep coming back to Shopify. I like how they've grown. I like what they keep, you know, they keep making new things. They keep making it easier, and that's important. Let's see here. I'm sure I'm so behind on things though also. All right, now we're gonna do these. And I'm sure there's probably an even faster way to do this. If I like bulk edit everything. That's all right. We're almost finished here. 1, 2, 3. Our white. Oh, okay, we switched that. That's fine. Let's do logo. 3 stars was first. Let's come back here. White 3 stars. White 3 stars. White 3 stars. Edit images. Okay, here. And then our last one for our mismatch. I think that'll be kind of cool. And Brandon's thought was like, well, maybe we make them buy both pairs and then they can mismatch. But we shall see. I like it. White mismatch. There we go. Done. Okay. That's it. So now let's go back to this collection and we're going to add our compression shirts. Also need to add a collection image. here. This chair is holder. I only need it to be the previous 3 days. Do you think? Organization is key. Let's see about this. I go like that. Let's see if I saved it. No. Alright, let's come back then to downloads, recents. How are you doing that? Yeah, this could work fine. Let's do it this way then. I thought I need to like rename it. Alright, and then we need to add question shirt. Let's duplicate a T. Come here. And sometimes when you're duplicating products instead of creating a new one, pros and cons, right? Things you need to pay attention to. But when you duplicate, all of your tags, your collections, your metadata, all of that will be duplicated as well. So then you can just go back in and make slight edits instead of having to go back through and remember to hit all of those things. All right. So every time, let's see, here we go. This is going to be graduating under Jersey. take a look at the collection. It's nice to know you're there, working together. I think we should move. We gotta get rid of those things. So let's check it out. There's a couple pictures. The new item has a gray background. Let's see if we can get rid of it. Let's see. Sunny day. Clouds over. That's so cool. So Shopify now has a built-in where you can change the color of your background. You can get rid of the background color. And I just want to do that so it matches the rest of my product shots here. Sorry, it's quiet for a minute. Let's look at this. So, that's not what we want. It didn't work. Let me know what it is. So, I tried to put it towards like no background. I think we need to make it just be a white background. There we go. Let's try one more time. Save it. Let's go back. Okay, not this one, but here. Here. Perfect. We're gonna do the same thing for our game shorts. Gingerbread Happy Dance Dance. Sesame Street is on in the background. Okay, so I got all these good. Okay, so let's change these. Background. Change it to white. Save it. Okay, that's nice. So then we want to do a little player pack. Maybe. How do we do that? Think. Let's think. So I want to do some player packs where it's like, you know, it's a fundraiser, which is optional, but then there's also some parts that are mandatory as being part of the team, and that's getting the new compression shirt that's going to go underneath the jersey, and your matching socks that you can wear for game day. I don't know if I need to section that off. Maybe I just make them the first two items. That's a good start. Alright, so we do this. Now I want to make it manually so I can move things. There. Let's see, and then I think we move the polo up there. Where's our other tees? Not in there. Did it not duplicate it? Did I just like change it? No, we were talking to you guys doing the most. Where's our game shorts? Okay. What's that? Shorts. Let's do this real quick. I wonder. I'm gonna take the back of the tea. Let's see here. So I want a black tea. The back of it. Front, back. There we go. Let me make this bigger. Front. Center. There. This. That. What are you guys working on? It'd be cool if we do like it together. How could we do that? A little smaller. That is back. Down like this.
Cause as always. Keep going, Nina. Keep going, Nina.